Hi everyone, Dave from Geekanoids here, and by popular demand I have brought back the Q&A sessions. A lot of you have been saying, Dave, Daily Tech TV Q&A sessions, bring them back, please, please, please. Well, I'm bringing back the Q&A sessions to the Geekanoids channel. Ask the Geek, hashtag Ask the Geek if you want to ask me questions on Twitter, and I'm going to kick things off with the best questions that I received over the past couple of weeks. Now the first one you can see on my iPad here is from Andrew Jackson, who asks, are you looking forward to the new Android, Windows Phone 8 phones or the iPhone 5S for 2013? Well, that is a fantastic question to kick off this new Q&A session, and to be fair, I'm looking forward to all the new mobile phone releases. But there is one phone in particular that I'm more looking forward to than the rest. I'm going to reveal that towards the end of this Q&A because somebody else has asked a very, very good question about it. Regarding what you've asked, well, Windows Phone 8 phones, there's not too many that's sort of on the horizon that I know of, but certainly looking forward to see if new manufacturers release phones. In particular, are Microsoft working on their own hardware? With regards to Android mobile phones, well, we've got Mobile World Congress coming up, and we just had the Consumer Electronics Show for 2013 just last week, and there are a whole host of new phones coming out that I'm very interested in, including the Sony Ericsson, or I should say Sony because they dropped the Ericsson, Xperia Z and the ZL. We've also got Huawei and ZTE launching big screen mobile phones, and of course the Samsung Galaxy S4. Very interested to see the features and specifications of that. So that is a fantastic question. Please do leave me some new questions on Twitter, hashtag AskTheGeek. Next question is from Alistair Lowe, who asks if I'll be doing an office tour this year for 2013. Well, last year I of course did the studio tour. You're seeing me in the sort of slightly rearranged studio at the moment. And I also did an editing room tour as well because I do all my editing on a separate setup. Well, for this year, things might well be moving again. I might be moving into a new studio with hopefully 2 separate rooms again, possibly 3. And once that takes place, then of course I will do a diary vlog of the whole event of moving in, and also an office tour once it's all set up. So please do stay tuned for that. It is planned. If I don't move, then I will do an updated office or studio and editing room tour, probably towards the middle of this year. Now the next question is really rather good, and I do get asked this a lot, but it was well worth covering. And this particular one is from Jay Doe, and he's asking, how do you decide what to review? And he also mentions that others tend to just do videos about things that they've purchased and sort of look at my money sort of type videos. Well, that's a fair comment. Remember that some people aren't in the sort of really good situation that I'm in, where companies send me products to review. So some people need to review the products that they've purchased. I must admit that some people do buy lots and lots of products and then get very sort of low when they're finding that they're doing all of these videos and not getting the views. And that's probably an indication that it's time to stop spending money just to try and get views on YouTube. But how do I decide what to review? Well, probably much in the same way as the videos that you want to see. You see companies release new products or put out press releases about new products that are coming out, or we've got the likes of Kickstarter where people are designing really innovative products and doing crowd sort of funded projects that come to fruition and give us something that's really worthwhile purchasing. And then we've got the likes of all the consumer shows, Consumer Electronics Show, Mobile World Congress, Macworld, and all of these manufacturers really developing great stuff. And I tend to go through those and pick what I think is the most intriguing and interesting things to actually feature on the Geekanoids channel. The other way that I decide is really where companies approach me. So I get a lot of emails saying, Dave, will you take a look at this on your channel and give us your honest opinion about it? And sometimes I turn them down, but sometimes I say, yep, send it through, and then I feature that on the Geekanoids channel. I'd say probably about 70% of it is things that I've picked out, and about 30% of it is things where companies have said, can you cover this on your channel? Are you interested in taking a look? So great question. Thank you very much for leaving me that one. Let's move on to the next. The next question comes from Cruel World, also known as @PDTalkingTech on Twitter, and he asks what mobile phone and from which company I'm most looking forward to this year. Well, there are a lot of mobile phones coming out. As we know, I mentioned in an earlier question, Mobile World Congress is happening very, very soon, and that's where all the major releases will happen. We've also seen some already announced at the Consumer Electronics Show. Now for me, of course, I'm looking forward to whatever Apple brings out. I'm also looking forward to all of these new Android handsets, and you know that I sort of grew bored of iOS. So my daily driver at the moment is my Windows Phone 8, which is the Nokia Lumia 920. That's what I use sort of when I'm out and about. But there has been one manufacturer that has really interested me, and that is BlackBerry. BlackBerry 10 is just about to be launched, and I have seen some early looks in videos at the new user interface and some of the features it offers up. And they're going to be launching with two phones. One's got an actual physical QWERTY keypad, and the other one is all touch. And I'm really interested to see what they're bringing to the table, because it might actually bring another viable alternative to what I'm looking for in a smartphone. So the new BlackBerry phones is my answer to your question. And the final question for this new Q&A Ask the Geek comes from Ben at BTech Talk, who asked what is my worst and best tech purchase. Well, I'm going to keep it just to last year, so just in 2012. My worst tech purchase was probably something you never actually saw on the channel, and that was the Nike Fuel Band. I was really excited when they announced this product, and it took me a long time to really talk myself into purchasing one. I purchased it from the Apple Store. When I actually got it, it was very uncomfortable because it's made of sort of a rigid band rather than being flexible. It just was so uncomfortable on the wrist. I mean, I've got quite thin wrists, and on my sort of wrist knuckle bone, I call it here, it just sort of rubbed and just wasn't good at all. So I actually returned that to the Apple Store for a full refund. Thankfully, the Apple customer services is superb, and they didn't have any problem with refunding it. The Fitbit Flex actually has just been announced, and that's very similar to the Nike Fuel Band, but it's flexible, made of a silicone rubber, and I'm very keen to get that in as an alternative to try. At the moment, I use the regular sort of Fitbit. I've got one here that's keeping track of my steps, and I also use a Nike Plus GPS Sport Watch. Now, you also asked what my best purchase was, and probably in 2012 the best product that I got in was the Apple MacBook Air. I absolutely love my MacBook Air. I love its portability, I love the form factor, I love the performance, everything about it. Now, of course, Apple have brought out 13-inch MacBook Pro with Retina displays now, and I was so tempted to go that way, but I'm actually going to wait until the new MacBook Airs are launched, because I'm sure that Apple will bring the Retina display to the MacBook Air, and I will buy one again. I absolutely love it. It is the best laptop I've ever owned. So that's it for this Q&A session. Ask the Geek will be back soon. If you've got any new questions, please do ask them on Twitter using the hashtag AskTheGeek. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.